So my 3-week-old chickens have outgrown the little makeshift brooder that I have them in. Still have, out of, what do we start out with, 15 chicks. We still have 13 and they're all doing really good, but they're just getting really crowded in there. Getting really crowded in their brooder. They're getting bigger. And but we're actually going on a fishing trip this weekend, so we're going to be gone a couple of days, and I can't put a big enough water or feeder in the coop to have, so I'm going to have to put together kind of an impromptu box, cage, something to keep them in, that I can put large water and large feeder in to last them 2 days. Man, they really go through the water and feed right now. So what I have is some of this poly sheathing, real heavy duty, 44 mil poly. I have some of that, and I have some of this hardware cloth. I got some miscellaneous 2x4s lumber laying around here. I'm going to use what I've got. As the saying I always say, poor people have poor ways, and you got to use what you got. So I'm going to put something together, see how it turns out, and I'll get back later. Good morning. Yesterday I started working on a little cage or pen or brooder box for the baby chicks. It'll be, I guess, their first or their third stage. That I consider the third stage. First was in the incubator. The second was in the little small brooder cage that I had the heat lamp and everything in. And this will be the third one because they're getting too big for that small one that I had them in. And we need something a little bit bigger because they're going through so much food. I'm having to fill a little feeder 3 times a day with food and water, and I can't fit a bigger one in there. So I found some scrap lumber and stuff around here, around the house and place that I had laying around, and I'm trying to throw something together. I would have got it finished yesterday, but you know, old age creeping up on me, and back started hurting and started getting grumpy and impatient, and yeah, so I had to call it a day yesterday. So we're gonna go out there and finish it up today and try to drag it out in the chicken coop, put the chicks in there and see how they like it. And see we go from there. Here's what I've got so far. About approximately 2 foot by 4 foot. Got the expanded metal in the bottom. Got this little, put some hinges on it. And instead of covering this with plywood, I didn't have any plywood, but I did have some of this real heavy, thick plastic. It's like 45 mil poly plastic. Actually came from, it was scraps from the landfill I used to work at. This is the stuff they actually line the landfills with, and the contractor, you know, has a bunch of scrap pieces always at the end, and they just throw them away. So me being who I am, you know, has to drag some of that stuff home, because you never know, I might use it someday, and sure enough, I'm using it. So I think it's going to work okay. It's black. I thought I'd try to paint it white so it wouldn't absorb so much heat, but we're going to see how it works. Yeah, we're going to see how it's going to work, and check it out when we're finished. Okay, we got the coop pretty much finished up and moving the chicks into it, and they're not too happy about it. How are you, buddy? buddy or girl or boy or whatever you are. I have no idea how to tell. We'll find out when they get. We'll find out when they grow up and they start crowing. But yeah, they're not too excited about the move. But I think once they get in here, see all the room they got, find them some food, water, they're gonna be happy. Large container with food, plenty of water. In fact, I've got another water I'm going to put in there because we're going to be leaving for a couple of days. They're a little nervous, but I think once they get used to it, they'll be fine. Plenty of room to run around, whatever they want to do. So we're back off and let them settle in. And then later on, when Andrea comes home, her and I will carry this thing, put it inside the coop, get it off the porch. Okay. Got all the chickens in there. It's on the back porch right now. When Andrea comes home, I'll get her to help me and we'll carry it over and put it inside their chicken run. It's a chain link enclosure that we have the chickens in. Because we're going to be going, we're leaving the weekend for a couple of days fishing. So we'll be fishing a couple of days, and we do have stray dogs that come around here. So inside that enclosure, they'll be safe. Nothing can get to them. Also, they'll have plenty of water and food. Leave the light on in there for them. It's not supposed to get that cold this weekend. Maybe in the 60s like today. I got a 60-watt bulb in there, and it's keeping it in there 70 degrees. So even with the end being open and the bottom being open, so that'll be good for them. Plenty good. They're a month old. So yeah, it's going to be a lot nicer tending to them with this closure. That other one was so small. The feeder and water we had was so small. We're having to change the water 3 times a day and the feed twice a day. The water, I'd change it. Within 5 minutes, they were already peeing and pooping in it. They just didn't have a whole lot of room in there. Well, this one here is a lot bigger, so we'll see. Hopefully that will solve that problem, and they'll be happier. Well, hopefully in a couple, 3 more weeks, we'll be able to turn them out. I won't put them with the other chickens, but we'll have a separate little enclosure for these right next to the other ones. And I need to build a regular coop for them too, with nesting boxes. I know it's going to be a while before they start nesting, but I need to build a coop so they can get used to going into it. The one we have for other chickens is not going to be nearly big enough. It's almost not big enough for the 6 chickens that we have. So, and then again, I don't know how many of these are going to be roosters and how many are hens. The roosters, of course, we're going to butcher all them. They're going in the freezer. And the hens, we're going to keep them. So hopefully the majority of them will be hens. But if not, well, we'll have chicken to eat. That's going to be it for this little segment for now. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. I say it's not fancy, it's just the materials I had. And I always say poor people have poor ways. You can make it work. You can make it work. Andrea and I carried this over here this afternoon. They're all tucked away inside the enclosure. Poultry netting on top. Nothing can get in here. And they're kind of settling in. They're a lot calmer than they were earlier. think they're happier. They got more room. So if you have any, anybody has any positive feedback, constructive criticism, anything maybe can help me out, man, I'd appreciate it. This is our first time raising chickens, or little chickens anyway. We've had hens for quite a few years, but this is all new to us, young chickens, and we plan on continuing to do it. So yeah, if you got anything to say that help us out, man, please comment. Sure would appreciate it. Thank you.